What the pluck? Take two.
Hello, pluckers.
Welcome back to another episode of your favourite podcast, What the Pluck.
The most chaotic, controversial, crazy
Podcast
duo
that there is.
and podcast that is in the beauty industry right now. And we will keep claiming that title.
Yeah, because we are positively delusional. And speaking of delusion, we have both just been diagnosed with severe cases of it. And there is no ointment, so here we are. Today's topic is In My Delulu Era, Beauty Edition.
Yeah.
And ever since we did that episode with Molly on manifestation, we have claimed the fact that we are positively delusional.
We've claimed that whole saying.
Yeah.
We love it.
Love it.
We're like positively delusional.
Yep.
That's what we are.
Before we get into the meat of this episode,
Wow.
let's start with some veg.
Let's start with some tofu.
Yeah, let's have a bit of tofu. Buff brows. Where you at?
Cheers.
Where them fans at?
Woo!
Where them fans at? If anybody don't know this song, it's called Boots on the Ground.
Horrible.
No, it's not.
It's fantastic, but it's
Fantastic.
ruining my life.
It's all we keep singing.
Where them fans at?
And if you saw us TikTok recently, you'll see me in a robe dancing to it, which I bet was a feast for your eyes.
Delight.
Yes, delusional yet again. But big shout out to Buff Brows, who are our sponsor for season 9 of What the Pluck.
They are, and if you head on over to their website and whatever you put in your basket, if you are a new customer to them, then you would type in WTP15 and you will get a little cheeky discount.
Bit of a discount.
Yeah.
Who don't love it?
Yeah.
But yeah, thanks to Buff. Thanks for believing us. Thanks for sponsoring us, and thanks for taking us to Polo recently.
Yeah,
we had a
they were
fantastic
lovely.
day
They were
out,
absolutely
didn't we?
great. Yeah, fantastic.
Lovely little day.
Yeah.
Nice.
Nice that we didn't have to work as well, innit?
Yeah.
Just nice to go out on an event and not work it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nice, yeah.
But in case you've not guessed, the episode that you are going to be listening to today is In My Delulu Era, Beauty Edition.
Okay.
Have I said that?
Yeah. But before we get into that, let's do the Would You Rather.
Would you rather?
Okay, start of every episode, we do a Would You Rather, and it is completely not beauty related, so buckle up, because it could be about anything here, and if you're my mum or dad, please do not listen to anything that is sexual. Go, Jamie.
Stop.
Would you rather be personally responsible for somehow deleting Spotify from the entire world,
Okay.
or be caught with a dangerous weapon inside Buckingham Palace?
Delete Spotify. I don't have it.
You don't have Spotify?
I'm an Apple Music kind of guy.
That's wild to me.
No, Apple Music all the way. See you, Spotify.
Well, I'm in Spotify, and Spotify, if you want to sponsor me for anything, then you fine.
Right, let's have a look. Tell me when to stop.
Stop.
Would you rather make a really shit and pretty offensive film with your name plastered all over it, or make the best film ever made and have to see someone else take all the credit and glory for it?
I'd let somebody else take credit for it.
Stunning.
Because then if it's a really good film, you'd still get money for it, would you not?
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, don't matter to me.
Potato.
Me face out there don't matter. So, right, are we ready? We're
Are we
getting into
ready?
his delusion era.
Ready.
Let's go.
So, reflecting on the delusional things that you believed, I believe,
Yeah.
early on in his careers, and maybe there's some stuff that we still do, or maybe there's some stuff that you guys still do.
I can't. Right, off the top of my head, there's only one or two trends that I remember thinking would work, and they didn't. But maybe as we get going into this, and as we start talking about
I'm going to
it,
jog your memory, because there is so much from the beginning of your career that you look back now and think, what
Wow.
the pluck?
What the pluck was that?
What that? So...
Re-jog my memory, then go for it.
So this one is a love letter to our younger selves
God.
and a roast.
Oh, God.
Let's get this roaster cooking.
Okay.
Today we're diving into our Delulu era. Those moments where we truly thought we were it, but we were really just
No, don't
In a
say
lash
it.
room with no clients and too much pink neon.
We weren't actually in a lash room. We were in a classroom.
So, some early career delusions that I remember having, I don't know if you would have had, but one is that I definitely thought I'd be fully booked. Like that. I thought I'd do my training and then people would be kicking down my door.
Yeah. And it takes a lot to get there.
Oh my God, yeah.
It takes a lot
Yeah.
to get there. And it still does, really, to be honest. You still have to work at it. You don't have to be like... I'm sorry, but there's nobody that is fully booked till... Like, there's nobody that's been fully booked every single day for the last 12 months. It can't happen, surely.
Surely not.
Surely not. If it is, sorry.
Congratulations.
You are on the verge to a nervous breakdown.
Yeah.
But I think that. I think everybody will have probably thought that, who's not been in the industry before or been for a while. I probably had a little bit more of a step up because I'd seen salon life anyway, so I knew that it could be sometimes quieter periods of, years and stuff like that. So I knew, obviously, from my own salons that you could have, that you had to work very hard to be fully booked.
So go on. On a scale of not delusional to, girl, you need a nurse. You're that delusional. No, how delusional on a scale of 1 to 10 would you say it is to think that you're going to be fully booked in 2 weeks?
10.
10. So sorry to anybody who's listening to this who's thinking of coming into the industry or thinking of training in a new treatment and they think they're going to be busy.
Unless you're fully booked is 2 clients a week.
But that's not fully booked.
No.
It's just you're surely working more hours than that.
Yeah.
Any that you thought? I've got another one if not for now.
Go on, say it.
So making like a brand kit or a logo on Canva. I'm thinking I'm up there. Right. I have got this branding down to a T.
Yeah. I think Canva can be so useful for making stuff.
Yes.
But relying on an app solely for that is... Yeah, it can be... You can get stuck in that thinking, right, this is going to do my whole branding for me. This app's so easy. I think it's good to use for some stuff, but not for the whole of it.
And... there's so many templates on Canva. Yeah, Canva's great. We use Canva. I use Canva. Love Canva. But when it comes to stuff like your branding, it's so personal that when you've gone on Canva and clicked for a branding template, everybody who's gone on Canva has probably seen that template.
Yeah, and you can usually tell. I can tell now which ones are from Canva.
Yeah, so...
unless you're making it yourself on Canva... because you can take some bits from one and from another. Unless you're making it yourself on Canva and you're just not picking a template, then expect people to know that it's just a template that's already been done for you.
Yeah. Go on.
I thought that I could possibly train in every single thing and be able to do it all and fit it all in.
You still do it now?
I do. But there is things.
She's saying it like, oh my God.
Yeah, I'm delusional. I'm absolutely delusional. Positively delusional, though. Because he's putting money into it. But no, because there's some stuff that I've trained in. So I trained in nearly every single thing in industry. Some of it I trained in, I didn't even like it. I used to think, this will earn money. I hate doing it. I hate how it looks, but it'll earn money. That's delusional. Because if you're not enjoying what you're doing and you're not enjoying how it looks, you're not going to earn money from it. And what's happened is I've just scrapped them treatments now. I don't enjoy doing it. I don't enjoy the look of it. I'm not down for it. So I only do treatments what I actually believe in and that I know that I'm genuinely happy with doing and what looks good. What I was delusional about is thinking that I could do both hair and beauty and be a master at it. I did my level 1 hairdressing after I'd done every single course in beauty. And then I did hair extensions, which to be honest, I'm still a dab and that. I can put a good set of hair extensions in. So, and I can tell. Do you know why as well though? Because I can see the colour difference, and if I don't like, if the colour doesn't match perfect, they're coming out. Absolutely not. We're not doing it. But I thought that I could take in my head, could absorb all the different dimensions of cutting and colouring, and I would just. My brain was fried. I thought, how am I going to fit this in my life? How? How am I going to wake up one day and think, right, today I'm going to do hairdressing. Today I'm going to do beauty. I couldn't switch. I just could not. I could not switch. Having to switch from one treatment to another was hard enough. But from one industry to another, even though it's all like the kind of the same, no, absolutely not.
It's like when they say
That's
like,
delusional.
Is it Jack of all trades, master of none?
Yeah, but that's when you share everything, Jamie. But I'm not. No, I couldn't. That's on a scale of 1 to 10, being delusional. If you think that you're going to do 2 different industries and be shit hot at both of them, some people might be gifted like that. Me personally, I'm not. I just couldn't physically fit in.
Even though you're trained in everything, you don't offer everything.
No, because there's some treatments that I just don't like, and I don't think I just don't believe in them.
I almost think as well it can be viewed as a bit of a bad thing if you are trained in everything and do everything.
Yeah.
Because people have that jack of all trades, master of none.
Yeah.
Thought process. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's like, so I can go to the same person for my nails, for my hair, for my lashes, laser, tooth gems, fine line tattoo. It's like,
yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I'm thinking about that though, because some of my clients joke to me and say like, literally, you can start your way from the head and work your way down, can't you? And I'm like, yeah. But the treatments that I do offer, I'm going to blow my own trumpet. I am. The treatments that I do offer and still offer, I am good at. So I've picked out which ones that I like.
You're trained in a lot, but you've narrowed it down and you only physically offer
the ones
a selection of treatments.
Yeah. And the ones that I believe in, and that's really important to do.
Delusional when it comes to starting out in this industry, and you basically do free treatments to practice and because you're like, I just love doing it.
What do you mean?
Like on friends, family, stuff like that. When you start out, obviously you have to do some. Yeah.
I thought you said 3.
No, some models and stuff like that. But then you're like, the delusion has burst because you're not booked and busy for within 2 weeks. Yeah. So then you start doing like friends and family and like doing it for free or like barely anything. Or your product cost because you feel like you need to always be doing it in order to get good, which to some degree does work, but you need to be bloody charging.
Oh God, yeah.
Gotta be. So those were some early career delusional moments. I'm sure there's probably 100 more that we've both gone through. Definitely. But we're going to have a look now at cringe business beliefs that we had. Because we had them. And I'm sure you guys did as well. One I had was thinking that if I had a booking system, I'd made it. No clients, but I'm paying for this booking system. Your booking systems are great.
Booked, busy, and broke.
Yeah. Like, they cut down so many, like, admin hours. Mm-hmm. The booking system is there to, like, as your kind of PA. It's there to support you. Mm-hmm. You need to be doing the work in the background to ensure that you've got clients coming through that booking system into your salon. Definitely. So just having a booking system is not going to make you booked and busy.
Yeah, and I think what goes hand in hand with that as well is when people have no-shows. A lot of people, when you first start out and things like that and you'd have no-shows, you see it as a personal attack when you first start out in this industry. Yeah. You're like, oh my God, they don't like me. Where have they gone? Why are they doing it? Like,
you think,
some
like-
people just forget, or some people, even though it's very, very annoying, or they, they might have an emergency or something like that. It is normal to have these no-shows. So thinking there is a personal attack, that's probably a delusion that we all had at some point, definitely.
It's also like when they no-show or someone's booked in and then they move their appointment or they cancel it and push it further out. You used to be like, oh, where's their after picture? Did I do a good job?
Yeah.
Oh, then what if they didn't like them?
Yeah.
No, they've just pushed their appointment out 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because they're not leaving the house.
Or they're thinking, oh, I'm charging too much. Is that why that they're not coming again and stuff like that? Definitely.
I think some things that we've learned. Let's talk about that and what we'd kind of say to our past selves and how being delusional actually helped in some ways.
I think being delusional helped in some ways with this podcast, definitely, because I think you've always got to have a little bit of delusion, haven't you? To think it all starts with a little bit of like madness, doesn't it? Where you think, oh my god, this might be a good idea.
Yeah.
This could either make or break. This could either be like a really good, successful thing or not. You know.
Yeah.
So I do think the right amount of delusion. You've got to have like a little bit of like a hope and a dream. And if some people might see that as delusional. So I think having the right amount of it is good.
Yeah.
What do you think that like a trend were that you saw that you thought were what you thought at the time were amazing, but now you look back and think, God, that were delusional. In the beauty industry. Not in your fashion sense.
Bitch.
I'm just thinking about when you had that bright red hair for Rihanna.
Delusional. So not against the trend.
Yeah, let's just get that straight before
We've
we
been
get
in this
cancelled.
situation before and we almost got cancelled.
Christ.
A trend. So I had seen one or two people adding something to their lash lift or lamination products to make them bright coloured. So I started doing it.
Right.
And
What was the purpose?
content.
Yeah.
Somebody basically said that they'd invented it. So I went back and I was like, I posted about it. I posted doing it like 8-9 months ago. So that's not facts,
Okay.
is it? And at the time, I was having conversations with George about, do I invest in a product to sell that does it? Because I thought it was going to be
The next big thing.
everyone were going to be doing it. And I was like, people are going to be like their branded colours. Like, he is very earthy, so I was like, I might have bought like a green or like a sage and then all my content would fit the
in your
aesthetic
feed, yeah.
on my feed. It would fit the aesthetic of the branding.
Yeah.
And I was like, everyone's going to want to do that.
Yeah.
Obviously never went ahead with trying to find the product.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was like,
So was that a trend that you thought, this is going to be huge?
yeah, we're ready to get a product
Do you know what?
to sell.
One of the things that I thought, which was very, very big. It was very quick in and very quick out. Eyebrow extensions.
It comes round every so often, guys.
It does.
It comes round every so often. We helped launch a course on it.
Yeah.
We taught it.
But you know, before that, I did it about 3 years before that. I remember, because I'll tell you how cheap they were when we used to do them. This is how long ago it were. I used to charge £10 for a set of brow extensions. And it took me ages. And at the time, I thought they looked amazing.
Yeah.
You couldn't touch your eyebrows. I was basically putting myself a monobrow in. We did.
We did.
Yeah, but I were filling little gaps in my brows. This were years ago, before I even started at HD.
I did a bride.
I remember charging people £10. £10 It's more than that for a tint now. Like £10 for all that work going in. Like I was just delusional thinking that these were gonna. And then they used to say, didn't they? Oh, they'll last up to a month. Delusional. If they were lasting
like hybrid tint, it's lasting you a month. It's your T-zone, you're too oily. No product is ever going to last that long.
And if it does, then you're a scrubber and you're not washing your face.
Yeah. But yeah, I remember doing a bride and she came on the morning of her wedding for me to do her eyebrow extensions.
Mental, innit?
And I used to charge £15 on top of HD.
Crazy.
So I'd charge, at the time, $25 for HD.
Yeah.
£15 on top, and it used to take me about 40 minutes to do these brow extensions.
Crazy, yeah.
Mental.
Yeah.
So that anyway fell off a cliff, but then it came back.
Did it?
Can you remember when they were doing, basically sticking the really long hairs, look like Wolverine, on, and then you'd see these videos of them like pulling the long hair.
Oh my God, I saw these on social.
Yeah, and at
Why?
the time, delusion, I was like, you could never do that. How
what glue is this?
Brow extensions used to be done. So I was
Yeah.
like, maybe this is gonna,
This is gonna pop off.
that soon died.
Yeah, I just thought they'd got really long hair in it. I never
Yeah.
even bothered reading caption. I just thought, what the hell's going off here?
Another one, lower
Well-
lash lift.
What is all that about?
Lower lash lift.
All right, can I just disclaimer? If you do that and it works for you, fantastic, good for you. Me, I don't know what the point is.
I get a lower lash tint.
100%, yeah.
And to be fair, I have seen Nouveau Lashes do a course on this.
What,
and
lower
I've
lash
sat here,
lift?
lower lash lift. If somebody's got really crossed,
Oh,
lower
right, yeah, yeah,
lashes,
yeah. Yeah, to,
you're
like,
almost
correct the
like
position of
correcting the position. I get it,
But
I don't get it. At the same, I do get it for like a correction, but like I see it sometimes and I think, well, you could have just tinted them.
yeah, it's a lot of messing about.
Yeah.
And product and money and
Yeah.
time.
Mental.
That's a bit. It's a bit
There
of
is
a
another
delusion.
trend, but I'm not going to talk about it because we will get cancelled.
I know exactly which one it is. And before you even say it.
Like we nearly did before.
Yeah, well, I'm not saying it.
Yeah, so they are just some trends. I'm sure there's many more. There's many more that we probably don't
would
want to
love to-
talk
I
about.
would
There's
love to
many more
hear.
that you guys probably are thinking about.
Put it in the broadcast channel because we
Yes.
have actually got a channel that a little safe space for you guys that you can just all chat in there and talk and some
Yeah.
get some connections and
It's just fun. Remember, guys, nothing is that
light-hearted.
deep.
Calm down.
If somebody comments a trend and you do it and you're booked and busy, nobody is taking that away from you.
Yeah.
That is like applaud.
Yeah.
It's just fun.
Yeah.
Okay. But any advice that you would give to your past self? So I would say to my younger self, feels like a final episode of RuPaul's Drag Race.
Does it?
Yeah, that's what they say. Pulls out a picture and says, what would you say to 6-year-old Sasha?
Oh God, it's so emotional.
Yeah.
Jeez.
I would say don't take things too personally.
Yeah.
I've always been delusional and I always knew that I wanted to keep going.
Mm-hmm.
But along the way, I took way too much bullshit,
Yeah.
too personal,
Yeah.
and let it affect me. I wouldn't do that again.
I probably would say just concentrate on what you're doing and stop comparing yourself to other people and thinking that you are not good enough to be brave enough to post and to actually look at your own work and be like, yeah, I'm actually good at that. There is
Yeah.
this thing that we do as being British, I think, that where we like downplay stuff. Like, like when somebody says, oh, that's nice what you're wearing, and you say, oh, it's only from so-and-so.
Oh, it's only Primark.
It's only... No, just say thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks for saying it's nice. Oh, you look nice. Oh, no, I don't. I ain't done that. Like, we downplay everything. I do think that is a big British thing. So I would be like, do you know what? Be more confident in what you've done and realise that there's loads of people watching you and they want to be like as good as you
Yeah.
are one day.
Yeah.
So I would say definitely believe in yourself more. Yeah. And just be brave. Be brave enough to think, yeah, I'm good at this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, still delusional now? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
Because you've got to be, a part of you has got to be delusional. Otherwise, is there any progress? So what is something that you think you are still delusional about?
Everything, but you've got to be.
Yeah, you are.
I would say seeing something like treatment-wise, let's go with that. I've got a good one for that. So seeing something or results online,
Yeah.
finding out what is being used and thinking I can do the same because I've got the same product.
That is such a good one. That's really, really good. Yeah.
Because, like...
It's not down to the product.
Yeah, it's down to the person.
And the technique.
I believe in myself way too much, you know.
I don't think so.
No, we do, though, don't, like...
Not way too much. We do believe in ourselves.
Believe in ourselves, and I wouldn't say...
And it's
you know...
You need to do it. To have tough skin in this industry, you need to be delusional and believe in yourself.
But people might look at us and think we don't look at other people's work...
And think it's good.
think, I want to do that.
Yeah, of course
I want my work to be like that.
Yeah.
Of course we do.
Massive.
And I've done it a few times where you look and I'll see the product.
And
And
think,
I
I'm
bought
getting
the
that.
product. And I've tried the product.
Yeah.
And my results still aren't like that.
Yeah.
And I have to remind myself,
You have to break it down and
it's
think...
not the
Yeah.
product.
I think this can happen as well with semi-permanent makeup. You see people's work, and a lot of people will be asking on people's pictures, what pigment I've used. They'll put what pigment they've used and then wonder why theirs don't look the same colour. Well, it's all to do about the technique, the depth that the needle's gone, what kind of needle you're using, what, you know, all
Even
these
like
things.
skin tone,
Skin
undertone.
tone, skin type,
Yeah.
like all these things, sun exposure, lifestyle, everything. They don't realise that, like, their work is on a completely different person who's probably starting off with something completely different.
Yeah.
And yeah, you do. It's all down to experience and technique as well.
Yeah. I do it. I bought some lash shields the other week for a lash lift because I'd seen somebody using some. And I'm like, I know this. I don't know why I keep doing it.
Yeah.
I bought the shields. I did the lash lift. And then I were a bit bummed with results.
And we're like, oh, you didn't do that. Yeah.
And then I was like, of course it's not Jamie.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, so I still do that quite
Yeah.
a lot with product. I don't know if it's just that I'm so giddy that it's a new product or I don't know, but that's a big one.
Yeah, I think that is a really good one, actually. Yeah.
Anything you think of?
Something that I'm still delusional about. I haven't really got one, to be honest. I think the things that I am delusional about are probably like, they're probably goals.
Yeah.
So I like to keep a little bit of delusion in my mind. I think it's good to keep a healthy amount of delusion, because if not, we're just going to all walk around like depressed, aren't we? Thinking that no ever good's going to happen.
We say a lot, well, why can't we?
Yeah. Well, why not?
Well, why not? Of course we
not?
can.
Like, yeah.
And that's
saying what Kate Moss says. Why can't I have... What? But why? Why can't I have fun all the time?
Yeah.
So, yeah. Why can't you?
And that comes into the next point, like manifestation versus madness. Where's the line?
Yeah.
Because, and again, shout out to that episode with Molly about manifestation. She broke it down and we left like mind blown.
Yeah, we did.
We actually did.
Yeah.
But there is that line of manifesting and how we say quite a lot, well, why couldn't we?
Yeah.
Or why can't we?
It's almost like I'm big into this year making like mood boards and stuff on my phone. And I just look at them. And I'll just look at, say it as your background on your phone or something like that.
Yeah.
Stuff what you think probably is not even achievable for you. Just set it as it. Who cares? It's your dream. It's your delusion.
Yeah.
Do what you want with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And then, obviously, if you're just walking around thinking, I won £1 million in my account by the end of the week, like, come on, babe.
You've got to do steps
That
to try
is
and get
madness.
That. It's not just going to drop in your lap. You've got to do steps.
Yeah.
You've got to do steps to actually get there. There's manifestation and then there's madness.
So, question for you listeners.
Yeah.
We still think that we're going to win a podcast award. Delusional or visionary? We'll let you answer that in your own little head.
Yeah. Just be careful with your answers on that.
Yeah.
Do you know what? And like I said in this episode, delusion has got us here.
Yeah.
I used to say to Jamie all the time on voice notes, we need to do a podcast. I've been listening to this podcast, right? And we're funnier than them. And blah, blah, blah. And it weren't even about beauty industry. It was something completely different. And there were two men talking.
She'd say, listen this. And
I'd say, listen them. They're mates. And I really love it. And I just listen it all the time. Have you ever listened to that podcast?
Bits.
Yeah. He just got bored. So I was delusionally thinking, oh my God, one day that's going to be us. It's great to be that delusional. We went to Brow Awards one year and sat in the crowd as somebody's guest. Really excited to be there. And Jamie turned to me and said, next year we'll be on that stage. And I was like, And guess what? We've never been off it since. We were on it. So we are positively delusional, and we'll talk about events that we're going to do, and we're like, right, we'll have this, and we'll have that, and we'll have other. And we'll be talking to Laura as publicist, and she's great because she just like slowly nods her head to us and just goes, yeah, all right, yeah.
She lets us know when we're being ridiculous, like when I asked if she could get us a private jet from London.
Well, she didn't say ridiculous, actually.
No, she just said, I don't know anybody with a private jet.
That's what she said. That's exactly what she said. She didn't say, you guys are being ridiculous because we can't get home from London, right? We're going to Beyonce and we can't get home. So Jamie, we were throwing these ideas about, and Jamie were like, why don't we get a private jet? And I was like,
delusional again that we can afford a private jet.
But what were even more delusional is I didn't turn around and say, that's ridiculous or that's delusional. I went, right, just let me Google how much they are. What?
And I said, right, let me voice note Laura. She might know somebody with a jet.
A cheap. We were actually saying in the same sentence, cheap and private jet.
Private jet to get us home from London.
I actually Googled cheap private jet flights. Is that even a thing? Delusional.
Look, stay
tuned. What? If we're on that private jet at weekend, who's delusional then?
Stay tuned. We'll let you know how we get home from Beyonce. Whether that be private jet or the megabus, we will let you know.
Who knows if it's stagecoach or private jet, darling. Do you know what? The delusion can lead to success.
Yeah.
You've got to have a dream at some point and you've got to think, I'm going to do a podcast with my best mate and we're going to talk about everything in the beauty industry, all the highs and the lows, and it might be a complete flop, but it's not going to be. And here we are. It's not. We're 9 seasons in.
So many times we've said, yeah, we can do that.
And people try and doubt you as well. When you have these thoughts, people will always be like, I remember a few people said to me, oh, that'll not earn any money. And I'm like, we're not doing it for the money, honey. I mean, we are now. Kidding, we're not. But we're not doing it for that. We're doing it for, like, to get, it's so great to hear back from people saying, oh my God, I love your podcast. I love this. I love that. So, yeah,
That's why we do it.
That's why we do it. That's why we're here.
So, guys, I hope you've enjoyed this Delulu episode of What the Pluck, the number one professional beauty podcast in the UK. You heard it here first, delusional, but that's the title we're going for. And we're going to play this back. When we hit that, whether that's through manifestation or just sheer delusion, when we get there, we're going to make a reel out of this and put it out there into the universe.
Yeah, we are. We've just put it out there into the universe, so fingers crossed.
Yes.
In fact, we're not even crossing them because we just know it'll happen because we're delusional. We love you guys. Stay booked, busy and blessed.